became was this, that you have a 6-year primary education, Mr. Speaker, a 3-year JSS, and then a 3-year SSS. So, Mr. Speaker, from a period of about 17 years of pre-university education, we now have a period of basically 12 years pre-university education. Mr. Speaker, we've shown all the total by about what? 12, 17, 5 years completely gone. But if we were studying the developed countries, I take Britain always as my starting point. Mr. Speaker, Britain introduced all these things to us, all the education and all that we do in this country. We're also part of Commonwealth now. We're part of their colonial past. Mr. Speaker, that is not what is done in Britain. And I always had the example of a fact that we are taught the English language. They are taught in English language. Mr. Speaker, they spend at least 13 years, 13, but that is their language. We have to learn the language of English, and yet we have cut back even on the basic education of the English people by a year. So they do 13, we do 12 years. I haven't quite, Mr. Speaker, understood the purpose of this. Mr. Speaker, the worrying aspect of all of this, Mr. Speaker, is this, that we have also introduced a system which, by the indications I've just given, ensures that everybody, Mr. Speaker, ends up at the university. The question of his room that he went to check later and he found out they were true or whatever. Look at my block was the K block, Legon University, Legon Hall, and K block. Look at the time we were in there, we left the university in 1986. 1982, before we were beaten and sent home by the PNDC government. Mr. Speaker, we were two. Those who have fond memories of the days. There will be two in a room. When I went back to check, I heard that there were so many people on campus, congestion in the classrooms and the dormitories and all of that. I went into the check. In my case, my room, there were 12 female students. Legon Hall and K block was always a male block. But when I went, there were ladies, and there were about 12 of them in one room. That's an indication, Mr. Speaker, of the issues that we are grappling with. I mean, 12 people in the room. How did they do it? And then you talk about the 10 or 500 or so students in the classroom. I'm going to check on the political science department, Mr. Speaker, one day. And when I went, the lecturer had a megaphone in his mouth. Megaphone. I wondered what he was doing. With all respect, it wasn't a fanfare, it wasn't an outdoor function or anything. It was the lecture hall. I mean, the lecture hall, and I was told that there were about 2,000 or so students. Mr. Speaker, it's a little difficult, the system that we created. In the end, Mr. Speaker, that it comes to, what do you call it, employment. Mr. Speaker, but even before it comes to the employment, step back again to the education, the facility system. Something has entered into the lexicon of the country, of the education system of the country, the entry, and of course subsequently into the employment avenue, Mr. Speaker, they call protocol. Mr. Speaker, everything in this country is now beginning to look like a protocol, and nobody seems to understand it. The Honorable Ben Kumbo, Dr. Ben Kumbo, former leader of the House, Mr. Speaker, made some comments, and they keep on regurgitating it, and I think they call it a jingle or something, one of the radio stations. He says this, I'll try to quote. If I get it wrong, I'll paraphrase. Everything in this country is now turned to protocol, and he took decisions that a lot of people weren't happy with when he became eventually the health minister. And he said this, well, if it is protocol, just wait when you get involved in the road accident, and the only person who is at the emergency to look after you is a nurse who had to enter the nursing training school on the back of protocol, and who is going to decide on whether you live or you die. Mr. Speaker, it's become a very difficult issue for us. I mean, MPs are stressed all over. It is protocol, use your protocol. Which protocol? Where do we have the protocol? And then, Mr. Speaker, it now permeates the question of employment. There is no way the government of the country, Mr. Speaker, I see the young lady member from Colote Collet, honorable member is on her feet. I think she wants a point of order. I'm prepared to give way.
Actually, I don't think you are out of order, but I don't know whether she wants to share information with you or something. Yes. Honorable
System, which is the SHS and the JHS, is not the original system that was instituted in the 90s. I'm a product of the JSS and SSS, and it had a more practical dimension to it, where there were certain compulsory practical subjects like technical skills, like agric science, and technical drawing and vocational skills, for example. So just for the information of the House, that the current system that we are looking at, there was no appraisal done of the JSS and SSS system to say it was not working, and that was the reason why it was changed to the current system, which we see is as a less practical and more theory with fewer subjects at the point in time. So it was just to add that bit of information. Thank you.
Tweak to the argument. But Speaker, I wasn't comparing it to, GSS, previous GSS, the current GSS. I'm actually talking about the curriculum as we had it during our days, the time that we had the primary 17-year, the basic 17-year education, 17 years education before university, and what we have now. I guess from what she's saying that there's probably some argument as to some fine details about some previous JSS or GHS and then the current SS. But honorable member, that's really not my twist, so my argument. Essentially, when we have to spend so much time in school compared to how many years that we spent in school now, and of course I was coming to the point about the product from our schools and our universities. There is no system, even in the advanced countries, where the systems are fairly stable, fairly established, that a government, the system can serve, the governmental system, Mr. Speaker, can produce employment for everybody. It is well nigh impossible. It can't do it. But here we are. The system is produced so many of our younger
or not, and whether we have achieved the best we can. I looked at the statement, Mr. Speaker, and I noticed the definition of quality education by UNESCO as quoted by the presenter of the statement. And he said, quality education is anchored in three broad principles: the need for relevance, for quality, for equality of access and outcome, and for proper observance of individual rights. This is very close to Pluto's definition of education, which encompasses the rights of people and the relevance of the education we attain. Mr. Speaker,
he has great schools that are doing so well. Sakafia Senior High School. When we came to government, it was a small school. Today, Sakafia is doing so well. And the people of Sakafia, the students of Sakafia will be shocked. They will be shocked to hear their member of parliament saying standards are falling. Sakafia is rising. Kumasi Academy, another school.
Honorable Minister, I'm surprised. You are introducing something different from the import of the statement. You are introducing something different. There are spots of sparkles. Nobody doubts that one, and that has not been questioned. It's a generality that is being brought up, and the relevance of the type of education we are pursuing. Both sides of the political divide agree on this, and they are looking like for a change to make it more relevant, more practicable, what we really need as a country. So please, some of these things you are referring to, some in their submissions have referred to them. It is not this government, and nobody has said this government is what is causing the decadence of education. No, 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 no. They've traced it, even mentioning from the time of PNDC. So don't be like you are on the defensive. That's why I said I'm not sure you heard sufficiently enough to be able to respond. Can I give you opportunity to come back with a statement later on education, because I'm very much interested in this matter.
Mr. Speaker, when the statement said
names to you, the addresses and telephone numbers are part of the particulars on the petition. I will proceed to establish a committee to receive the petition, investigate and report to the House. I will propose that the committee be chaired by Honorable Joe Gatti. The committee will be chaired by Honorable Joe Gatti, and the other members will include Honorable Neil Ante Edwin Vanderpoy, Honorable Dr. Benjamin Yeboah Sechere, Honorable Gisela Tete Agotui, Honorable Kwasi Amiyao Chireme, and 2 technical experts, Dr. Theophilus Achampon and Mr. Antonio Kese. This committee, under the chairmanship of Honorable Joe Gatti, will go into the petition and report to the House. I propose we give them 3 months. 3 months. 1 month will be too short. 3 months. If there is any challenge, the committee is meeting, the committee could kindly get in touch with me and we see how we facilitate the investigations of the committee. I thank you so much. I didn't go into details, and everything are in the petition. They are all in the petition. And I'm sure, as I said, if there are any other challenges, please kindly let me know. Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker,
and everything are in the petition. They are all in the petition. And I'm sure, as I said, if there are any other challenges, please kindly let me know. Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker,
and everything are in the petition. They are all in the petition. And
I am most grateful to you for giving me the opportunity to make a brief but important statement on the plight of toll booth workers, albeit former, who are persons with disability. On Thursday, November 15th, 2023, while we were here in this chamber for the presentation of the 2024 budget by the Finance Minister, 15 toll booth workers with disabilities were picked up by the Ghana Police Service on the premises of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Mr. Speaker, this rather unfortunate incident follows the announcement made by the Minister of Roads and Highways exactly 2 years ago, declaring the cessation of road tolls on our highways to be replaced by the e-levy. Regrettably, the toll workers, including those with disabilities, were immediately instructed to go home without any proper arrangements for their welfare despite assurances of reinstatement and continued salary payments. For the past 2 years, these toll booth workers with disabilities have been grappling with unemployment, leading to severe consequences such as homelessness and the inability to afford basic necessities. Their plight has been exacerbated by the lack of concrete plans to address the challenges posed by the sudden cessation of toll collection. On Thursday, November 14, 2023, the leadership of the toll booth workers with disabilities went to the Ministry of Roads and Highways to demand unpaid salaries and reinstatement, but spent the whole working day without being granted audience. They were informed that the minister was engaged in a conference and would be available to meet them the next day. With insufficient funds to travel back home, they slept overnight outside the gates of the ministry in order to make a second attempt the following day. On Wednesday, November 15, 2023, they gained entry into the ministry's premises to find cover from the mid-morning scorching sun after a minor scuffle with security men at the gates. They settled in the car park, and after waiting for the minister, 3 police cars drove in, and they were shortly circled by officers. They were picked up for assault and unlawful demonstration after a short interrogation and were sent to the Accra Central MTU.
Appears to deal with the subject, very subject matter that has come to my attention. What is being presented by my honorable colleague appears to be completely different from what was reported to me. Just because, as he himself rightly indicated, when the disabled people visited my ministry, I was not in. And that wasn't the first time of coming to the ministry. Actually, it was about either the second or the third time. Mr. Speaker, it's on record that the first time they put in an appearance without notice though and met me, I warmly received them, and I received all of them in the ministry's conference room. And I listened to their concern, and I explained the situation to them. I even went further, even to refresh them, and we had good interaction. That day, they were again warmly received by them to survive on. I'm grateful.
Taking time to explain part of the circumstances surrounding the unfortunate situation. Mr. Speaker, I have no doubt that our colleague, the minister, as a person, would not take a decision to cause what happened to our unfortunate compatriot at his ministry. But in an attempt to explain his point, he sought to give an impression that what our colleague said in his statement is different from what he had. What our colleague said was as simple as that some unfortunate citizens who were promised in this house during the 2020 budget session that the government have decided to cease the collection of road tolls, which, Mr. Speaker, was a policy in error from the beginning to the end. It was wrong according to the law because as of the time the minister took that decision to stop the collection of the tolls, he had no such power to do that. It is this house that causes tax to be collected, and a road minister cannot stop the collection of road tolls. And two, he has caused financial loss to the state because there was a gap between when the road toll was stopped. Mr. Speaker, I could see what you are saying.
I see that you are going beyond the boundaries of the statement.
Okay, let me move away from that. So, Mr. Speaker, indeed, the question to the minister is, who caused the arrest?
It is not question time.
Okay, for the minister to reflect on it. Find out who reported our compatriots to the police to be arrested. Is it somebody from your ministry? Because I don't see how somebody could cause arrest of somebody in my house if the house actually belongs to me. So maybe the minister should find out. Is it somebody from your ministry that caused the police to come to your ministry to arrest those people? And secondly, Mr. Speaker, the minister is saying that they have paid the toll workers. The promise made here by the finance minister was not about paying their severance pay. He said we will reassign them. So as Honorable Zaneto said, fortunately, members of parliament, we are burdened every day with people coming to ask us for arms. Give me money for rent. Give me money for this. Fortunately, they are only asking government to fulfill the promise of reassigning them so they can earn a living and look after their families. So, Minister, you are running away from the question. When are you going to reassign these people that you promised, your government promised here? But, Mr. Speaker, let us be careful. If people who are less able or people with disability take up the responsibility to look for work, got a job, and you unilaterally decide to take away that job and say you give them alternative job, it is a moral duty to fulfill that. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I'm told the number of them that are disabled are less than 100. If you cannot, as a country, prioritize to take care of disabled people who are already in employment because you don't have money, it is a problem. Mr. Speaker, I don't believe the government does not have money or positions to reassign these people. You can retrain them and put them somewhere. And
Leader, you said that the day
ready to move the committee's amendments.
Amendments here are in the name of the chairman.
I'm not aware of an agreement to end anywhere.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
we shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke.
It's a Thursday, the 7th day of December 2023. By His grace, we are alive and we're here for yet another edition of this show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the very privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Recommit to peacekeeping operations. UN urges member states. 3 Tory sides to receive facelift. Professor Abo advocates all-inclusive national development plan. SHS Resolution Center resolves major complaints. Ghanaian Times. At the 75th UN Peacekeeping Ministerial Meeting, let's pay attention to peacekeeping challenges. VIP to UN member states. Jospron Group signs ITMO credit deal with Swiss government at COP28. Tourism Ministry. Goma Group signed $50 million agreement to develop tourism sector. NDC rally support for minority to reject ally to ban importation of selected items. Daily Guide. Running mate saga. NPP gives Baumia extra time. Ghana reaffirms commitment to UN peacekeeping. Why Jasican judge was fired. CPP sacks in quote top executives. You've not appealed the jurisdiction of a high court, OSP told. The New Crusading Guide. Baumia granted more time to choose running mate. Trial of Aisha Wang shows government's commitment in fight against illegal mining. Who's saying this? It looks like an MP. NPP Bono Regional Organizer Lords Dr. Baumia by his dedicated leadership. Concerned Citizens Group demands removal of GRA boss, committing genocide in the name of God. But running not a better choice for Ablekuma West. What's this campaign to run down Ronnie from? Yesterday I saw another newspaper with that headline. And then this morning I've seen this one too. Running not a better choice for Ablekuma West with his photograph. I find it strange. Quite strange. Anyway. I'm sure Kuku Baku hasn't seen this. It's on the front page of the New Crusading Guide. The insight. Corruption killing Ghana. Stephen Adair cries out over normalization of graft. CPB boots out national executives for non-performance, appoints interim council. NDC blasts government over import restrictions rely on selected strategic products. Nicolas Maduro, he says ExxonMobil wants to start war in Latin America. The Daily Statesman. We need robust strategy for conflict avoidance. Dr. Baumia charges UN member states. Ghana to benefit from $82 billion carbon credit deal. UN, FPA, First Lady, others unite to eradicate obstetric fistula. Nana Ajantua resigns as CPP General Secretary. The Metro Lens. Ghana's Jospon Group shatters norms at COP28, pioneering a greener future on global stage. Planting for food and jobs in danger. Jasik and Circuit Court judge sacked over misconduct in divorce case. Sacked GRA boss, Commissioner Support Service, group demands. We do not do credit scoring in Ghana, XDS data settles debate. But they've actually ignited a Mekia debate. Business Finder. Tourism attracts $50 million private investment to improve infrastructure at selected sites. Seek debt cancellation from external creditors, IFS. Puts policy ahead of politics, Chamber of Mines. Okay, that sounds good. Puts policy ahead of politics. Okay. I've got a line for one of my panelists. Daily Post. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia about to collapse small businesses in Ghana with new ally, minority. Should be asking questions on the killing of innocent voters in 2020. Franklin Kujo replies Jim Mensah. A huge benefit is floating into someone's pocket in the perfect, in quote, lithium contract. Former CJ. All right, so that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Choco Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Choco Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Choco Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway. As you can see.
This advert has been vetted and approved by
Bano high sense air conditioner. You want more who do be brave. The ultimate siho. And the other brother winina. High sense air condition kwa. And our 4-in-1 filter system. And also na buame see from a fin ho kwine. The other brother one. You 1.5, 2.0, and a 2.5. The other siho no so. You 4.5 and a 2.5. Air condition be anywhere chilly chain high sense air condition. Aye papa. And changing them cania. A check na buono so damn. Yeah, the gold plated fence and the copper pipes, papa pie dimu, and the air conditions. And yet the day into baby have a sunny beer when you want some ye and no hot. High sense and qua and about 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. So air conditioner open quadia. I say, and no one high sense. High sense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Hey, give it to me. Hey, man. Go. One time. Stop. Ah, enough you guys. So continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Pack. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Pack app on www.gamepackgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Pack. Game Pack, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
The biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadom Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwain Sunyonko Papa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning is a man who has a new friend in the Prime Minister of the UK. It says that a man is a man, a woman is a woman. There can be no other definition. That's the Queen's Prime Minister. Anyway, so as a member of Parliament of one of my hometowns, okay, as a deputy ranking on communications in Parliament. Yesterday, he's made a news about four headlines with his name. I'm sure that now, by now, his family is used to that, so they don't have to get worried. Samuel Nate George is here with me on the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your family is used to it now, right?
Oh, yeah. My first time here since I went to New York. So good morning. Greetings from New York.
Okay. You went to New York?
Onako video.
Which one?
In UN video. In your way, UN. Onako.
No.
Huh?
No.
Have you been living under a rock?
No, I'm here. Annie didn't.
Annie, this one you haven't done the math.
She doesn't support.
Yeah, Annie doesn't support my.
She doesn't support you, so.
Yes, I can tell.
She's for the people.
She's an alphabet.
So blame Annie.
I will.
Me. Okay. All right. Okay. Also with me on the show this morning is a man who, did I say a man? Okay, I know he's a man. Unless he says otherwise. He's the Director of Communications of the NPP. Richard Ahiagba Omapenye is here with me. So you're a man, right?
Yes.
Hey.
You're sure?
You're not sure? I have to think about it. Because it's got to a point where the definition...
You're not sure whether you're a man?
So I have to think about it. What makes somebody want to redefine a thing for us? So,
the matter is critical.
Well, when you sit next to Sam, we have to be clear.
I am critical. You have to think whether you're a man or not.
I just have to know what I'm saying.
Anyway.
Now be boy.
But I think that anyway, maybe we'll get into that.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into that conversation.
We'll get there. But Richard, how have you been?
Yeah, I've been okay. Okay. It's I think about 2 weeks ago I was here, so it's nice to be. I haven't seen George in a while. So
yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. But you went to the U.S.
I addressed the UN conference in the UN on LGBTQ. I spoke there.
Okay, I don't know. Was there a challenge for you a while ago?
Challenge
to travel to the States?
There was an issue with the issuance of a visa, but the speaker intervened.
Is it because of your LGBT?
Well, they said there was an administrative issue. 6 applications went from Parliament. 5 were processed, excluding mine.
Okay.
And they didn't decline. It was still at the embassy, and then subsequently they did. So that was.
I saw Richard called them. So this is the event.
Yeah, this is the event.
I want to hear you speak.
The right that accrues to everyone within the context and spirit of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and several other recognized international treaties like the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. 75 years after the UDHR, the spirit and letter are more poignant than at any other time in our history. At a time in our world where supposedly progressive forces are agitating for a redefinition of the core principles of what a family is and represent in a somewhat regressive manner, the genuinely progressive voices, like those in this room, must rise in defense of family, its values and protections. The concept of the natural family is under attack, and a siege is being attempted on the spirit of the Declaration of Human Rights. Let me be clear here and now, sirs and ma'ams. There is a distinct difference between sex and gender or gender identity. The pseudo-war being waged by some against the families premised on this obfuscation and literal obliteration of the distinction between sex and gender. Sex is a biological construct that transcends race, ethnicity, religion, and jurisdictional jurisprudence. Sex is binary. You're either male or female. God determines this at the moment of conception. A fetus carries either the XX or XY chromosome, determining whether it is born female or male. From my beloved Ningo Prampram constituency in Accra, Ghana, to New York, and Rio de Janeiro to Madrid or Delhi to Perth, the interpretation of XY and XX is constant. Gender or gender identity, on the other hand, is a social construct that has evolved on the peculiarities of various societies. From the onset matching the binary nature of sex, we see different recognitions of gender today across the world. There is no universality in the concept of gender or gender identity, and it is highly fluid. And as such, gender or gender identity cannot form the basis for any rights accruing in a covenant, a convention, or international treaty which seeks to be globally acceptable and binding because we have different interpretations. This is the basis for my avowed position that the letter and spirit of the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights is apt and meets the needs of our global world today. It emphasizes in Article 2 of the rights, the rights and freedoms in the declaration, and it's clear that there shall be no distinctions made based on sex. Yes, it says sex, not gender or gender identity. This is a definite position and must be defended by all progressive forces. The UDHR in Article 16.1 makes yet another actual position that I cherish and implore all of us to hold fast and dear, that the right to marry and found a family shall be between men and women of full age, without prejudice to their race, nationality, or religion. Yes, it says men and women, not men and men or women and women. Yet again, this is another reinforcement of the principle of sex and not gender. As a proud African, Article 2 of our African Charter on Human and People's Rights also echoes the principles of enjoyment of rights without prejudice to sex and not gender. As Africans, the role of the family is cardinal to our society and its well-being. To reinforce this, Article 18 of the African Charter recognizes the family as society's natural unit and basis. It imposes a responsibility on member states in the African Union to protect the physical health and morals of the family. Yes, it said morals of the family. It declares the family as the custodian of morals and traditional values recognized by the community. The Charter says there is no ambiguity here, that the values of family as a union between a natural-born man and woman must be protected by all of us. Against this backdrop, together with 7 of my colleagues in Ghana's Parliament, I'm sponsoring a private member's bill titled The Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Families Values Bill 2021 in Ghana's Parliament. In conclusion, I reference the critical role that a family plays in the development of society through the development, education, and upbringing of children. Article 18.3 and 4 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights declares respect for the liberties of parents and legal guardians to ensure their children's religious and moral education in conformity with the convictions of the parents and legal guardians. This right is not given to an educational board or a pressure group or a government. It is the sole right and preserve of parents in the family unit. Ladies and gentlemen here gathered at the UN headquarters in New York, the family must remain respected and recognized as the union between natural-born men and women of full age who have the right and responsibility to determine by their beliefs and in conformity with the generality of their community.
All right, so that's what the Honorable Sam George was referring to. Okay, I like the way the guy seated next to you was looking at you. I just kept watching his hands.
Oh, but I got a good applause at the end.
Yes.
It was a good applause. And we had very interesting conversations at the end. There were people who held very similar views, and especially people from the southern part of the U.S., even within the U.S., people from the southern part, and people who are conservative leanings believe that the rights of the family must be protected, and that education of our children, what people do in their privacy is not our business. but you cannot bring what you want to do in your private space and then impose that on the education of our children. So as a parent, and that's why I quoted the international conventions, as a parent, the right to educate my child in conformity with my beliefs is a right entrenched both in local and international law. So an educational board should not determine what material is used to train my child without engaging me. And Randy, this is not a foreign problem. There is a school in Ghana today. It came on social media, I'll start, that brought a so-called influencer to come and sit in the classroom with year 7s to year 9s and tell them that it was good to love themselves and it was okay for them to explore sexuality with persons of the same sex. A school not legal here in Ghana. Now the question is, did that school seek the permission of the parents of those children for their children to be told that it is okay as a girl to like a girl or as a boy to explore with a boy? Randy, growing up as kids, I remember, and I'm sure you've done it, going to wear your mother's high heel shoes or a girl wearing her father's shoes. Does that mean that that child wants to become an opposite sex person? No. You allow children explore, but you don't force children to change who they are and indoctrinate them. And so I'm going to be writing to the Ghana Education Service to report to that school and request that that school's license to practice education is withdrawn. Because Randy, you cannot be, what that school did is called grooming. They are grooming the kids without the permission of children. And you see, that's why in the US and the UK, and you've lived in the UK, the school cannot even give paracetamol to your child if they are running temperature without consulting you. They need your permission. But the school...
You sign even before, whether they can
or not.
Yes.
But the school can choose to change your child's sex without your consent as a parent. In the UK as we speak today. The school on its own can change your child's sex without your consent. But that same child, to give that child paracetamol, you need my consent. This is the absurdity we are fighting and trying to stop from coming into Ghana.
So how come you guys were fighting in Parliament yesterday?
So yesterday, the Speaker indicated that the bill has been literally on ice for a while. And we just have amendments. We have about some 43 amendments or so. And these amendments are amendments that have been agreed between the committee, the sponsors, and the Attorney General. And we have reached conclusion. So, normally when the amendments come, there is a debate, argument, we don't want this, we want... But where we sit now, we have agreed on what the amendment should be. So the amendments stand in the name of the chairman of the committee, which is the usual procedure. We just need to take them, and then we are done with consideration of amendments, the consideration stage, and then we go to third reading and the bill is passed. So yesterday, the Speaker indicated that he wanted the bill to be taken yesterday. From morning, I kept calling the chairman of the committee. He didn't pick my call.
Who was the chairman?
Kwame Imedu. I think Asante Achem South or so, or Central. Now, he didn't pick my call. He didn't return my call. And so we went into the chamber. The ranking member was there. Then the Speaker...
Who's the ranking?
Bernard Hereford, Akachi South, I believe.
Yes.
And so he was present.
He's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer, yes. Kwame Imedu is also a lawyer because they are on the Constitutional, Legal, and Parliamentary Affairs. And so basically, it's a committee of lawyers. Now, what happens is the Speaker, whilst presiding, made it clear that we're not going to go into public business properly, which had to do with other things. We're going to move into public business to do the laying of papers, because I think they wanted to lay a paper for a loan agreement on the Tema interchange, some $338 million on the Tema interchange.
Which one is Tema interchange?
Yeah, they said they're doing the phase 2 of the Tema interchange, a $338 million loan. We'll come to that one separately.
Okay.
The Minister for Roads was there. Katie Hammond was there to answer questions, but there was one urgent question and about 6 other questions. So the Speaker said, we will take the urgent question, take the laying of papers, and then take the consideration of the bill. He announced that. He said it at least 3 times while sitting in the course of his conversation. And then when he finished, he said, well, he's going to go for a meeting and return. So he called the first Deputy Speaker, Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu, to come and take the chair. And you could see him have some conversation with Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu before he left. Now, when he left, as soon as he left, I This is not the first time this is happening. This is actually the second time relative to this bill, and the third time in Parliament where the Speaker has given a directive, and when he leaves the chamber, it is turned upside down. So I sent a message to the clerk at table, Jetro, that he should notify Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu that the Speaker had given a directive, because as soon as the Speaker left, before he went to his office, he was meeting the Minister for Defense of South Africa, who used to be the lady Speaker of South Africa's Parliament, who had been his friend for very long, and she was here for the UN Peacekeepers Summit. So she had called on him for a courtesy call. But before he would go, myself, Honorable De La Soa, and Honorable Helen Ntoso, who are also sponsors of the bill, went to meet the Speaker at his lobby in the chamber to ask him that, hey, would we still take the bill? He says, oh, I have given express instructions to Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu to start the bill, the consideration. I'm going for this meeting. I would return to come and conclude it myself. So, Sam, go back into the chamber with your team. It will be taken. When Jetro talks to Jowai says that the chairman is not in the chamber. So he signals that. And I'm like, this is strange. Because even when there are government bills, which is government business, and the chairman is not available, the ranking, Bernard Hereford, moves the motion, because the amendments of the committee naturally stand in the name of the chairman. But it doesn't suppose that except the chairman is there, the bill doesn't move. Bernard Hereford has moved amendments for government bills before. Sosu, who is the deputy ranking, has moved amendments for government bills before. Now, this is not even a government bill. This is a private member's bill. So, government necessarily has no direct interest in the bill, save for the fact that the Attorney General has contributed to it. Now, as sponsors, we say we are okay with the ranking member moving our amendment. Then the first deputy chief whip, Lydia Lassan, who was the available leader at the time, rises and says that, well, they want for us to close. And that was the agreement. So Kwame Abuja is called on our side. And Kwame Abuja says there was no such agreement. So I rise and tell Honorable Joe Wise that the Speaker has given you express directives. He's going to return. So we cannot end when the Speaker has said, I am coming back to preside. He's told you what to do, so let's proceed. He says, well, because the chairman is not there, he can't proceed, and proceeds to end the house, to adjourn the house till today. And you know, the painful thing is, it is simply because the Speaker had finished that meeting, was returning to the chamber, and then apparently another group on, I think, the emolument, the Presidential Emoluments Commission or something, Commission on Emoluments, had also come in. So he had to stay longer to address them, else he would have come to meet us. And yesterday, the Speaker was very unhappy about it. Because this is not the first time the Speaker has given directives. And it appears as though there is an intentional decision to undermine the authority of the Speaker. And that is unfair. And yesterday, when we were addressing the media, then one of the MPs, Honorable Lydia Lassan came there to try to say, oh, we shouldn't address the media. And I said, no, the media needs to know the truth. And once we're standing there, Sheila Battles just comes and throws, basically, hurls invectives at us. That we are populists and we are hypocrites. And I turned around and said, it's the same way Sheila Battles went to sit on a sister radio station or on another platform, Star, in an interview, and claimed that me, Sam George, this bill I'm sponsoring, she has for a fact that I have gone to take money from LGBTQ people to push this bill. First and foremost, it tells you how intelligent she is. Because if anybody in this country... No, Chief, wait.
No, I'm just saying let me learn. Here. So
the facts are clear. And yesterday, the video, your cameras captured my engagement or our exchange, where I told her, and the cameras captured it. If you like, I'm sure Andy can play.
I'm just with you that because it's not here.
No, but I was not.
Let's hold on.
I was not there.
Let's just watch the proceedings in the House. What led to the House being adjourned, and then the presser.
With the questions. That is the agreement, and we engage, and the agreement is we end on questions and we continue tomorrow. We have the whole day tomorrow. We have the whole day tomorrow for other businesses. How long does it take? Less than an hour will be done with the budget, my dear.
I'm not aware of an agreement to end anywhere. We are in your hands. My colleague has made a point about the consideration of the particular bill. So we are in your hands, Mr. Speaker.
It matters to the Ghanaian people. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to know if there is a problem with us taking this bill once and for all. If there is no problem, let's take it. We've taken other bills with 4 people sitting in the chamber.
Honorable Sam George.
He is not the chairman. I've seen the ranking. He is not the chairman. I'm asking.
Mr. Speaker, ready to move the committee's amendment, if given the opportunity, Mr. Speaker. Ready to move the committee's amendment, if given the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
Sexual Human Rights and Ghanaian Families Bill 2021. We are livid and angry, extremely angry at the conduct in the chamber today. This morning, the Right Honourable Speaker, Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman, called and said to all of us as sponsors that the bill was going to be taken today. The consideration of the amendment were going to be taken today. When we got to Parliament, he sent again to indicate that he wanted for all of us to be present. Since 8 a.m. this morning, we've been calling the chairman of the committee. I have been calling the chairman of the committee since 8 a.m. this morning. He's refused to pick the call. He's not returned the call. The ranking member of the committee, Honorable Bernard Ahiafo, has been present in Parliament since 10 a.m. He was in the chamber when the mace came in with the speaker, ready for us to handle this. The speaker came in earlier this morning and indicated that he was going to take only one urgent question and then take the laying of papers, and that there was a very important bill, you can take the hands out and check, that had to be dealt with. But the speaker indicated that he also had a meeting he had to attend. And so when the speaker called the first deputy speaker, Honorable Joseph Osei-Owusu, to take the chair, he indicated to him, and I state this on authority, he indicated to Honorable Joe Wise to finish with questioning and proceed to take our bill, the anti-LGBTQI bill. In fact, when the speaker went into his lobby, myself, Honorable Helen Ntosu, and Honorable Delasoa followed up with the speaker to find out from him if the bill will still be taken. Once again, the speaker, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagman, indicated that he had instructed the first deputy speaker to start the consideration, and that when he finished his meeting, he was going to come back to complete the considerations today. Because the speaker said he was completing the considerations today and gave those instructions to the first deputy speaker. Our frustration is that this is not the first time this is happening. It's not the second time. This is the third time the speaker has given such an instruction and it has been disregarded in his absence. We need to understand from the majority side what their issues with the bill are. We need to understand with those who take the chair when the speaker gives the instruction what their opposition to the bill is. We are very well aware of people in leadership on the majority side who are reaching out to sponsors of the bill asking us to step down the bill. Is that why the majority side is fighting against the bill? The excuse given today that the chairman of the committee is not in the chamber, so we can't take the amendment, is alien to the practice of this house, because the ranking member was present. Even government bills, when the chairman is not present, the ranking member
is able to take the amendments that stand in the name of the chairman, because amendments of the committee always stand in the name of the chairman. And all the amendments, about 43 of them that have been tabled, are amendments that have been agreed between us as sponsors and the committee. And so they won't stand in my name or Honorable Beja's name or Honorable Helen or Honorable Delasowa or Honorable Odole's name or Roxanne's name or Intim Fojo's name. They will stand in the name of the committee chair. But it does not mean that only the committee chair can move it. So if government business, the ranking member can move the amendment, how is it that a private member's bill, where the private members say we are comfortable with the ranking moving the bill, then the person in the chair says we can't take the bill because the chairman is not there and the chairman has intentionally stayed away? Would this same government that is telling us that at 3 o'clock we've stayed too long, would they not keep us here? Yes. I'm taking money from LGBT. And if I shouldn't mention her name as the pro-LGBT president.
She's one of them. Continue.
She went and sat on the media and said, she knows that I've taken money from LGBTQ people. She never tells. It took her father to come and apologize to me. I know me. Exactly. You were leaving the house today. You should have taken the baby for 30 minutes. There is nothing we are saying that
How come this bill is dividing our parliament so much?
Randy,
what is it about this bill?
I'm at a loss, because the same people who are professing support, when the speaker gave the opportunity the last time and said, if you are against it, speak, the same people who all claim that they are in support of it, once the speaker is not sitting there, then all of a sudden some kind of gymnastics is happening. And like I said, people are calling people, oh, let's do this to the bill. Let's. I mean,
what's the fear? What's the fear?
There are all kinds of allegations that it would impose international pressure on us. And I keep saying that, look, it comes back to how the country.
But I thought you said the Attorney General made inputs.
The Attorney General has made. In fact, the bill delayed for almost 5 months because we're waiting for the Attorney General's input. He did an input, I think, in October of 2022. It's public, and it was a public document that came out. The Attorney General listed all his challenges with the original bill. We had a session with him. By the time he came, because we had waited for 6 months, in that 6 months, we were waiting for him his memo. With the committee, we had been working on the bill. So by the time we met the Attorney General, most of about 98% of the things he had raised had already been trashed out between the committee and him. So that meeting, I remember very well, was on the 6th floor of Job 600. The Attorney General raises his issue. Then the chairman will tell him, we've dealt with it. Then he says, how? Then we show him the amendments we made. He says, okay, I'm okay with it. In fact, at the end of that meeting, and I came and sat here, Randy, and said it on this your show, the Attorney General said, Sam George, you've criticized me of delaying the memo to frustrate your bill. Please go and tell the media again that I am 100% in support of your bill. Attorney General's own words. Godfrey Dami, he's alive. You can check with him. And I came and sat here and said, the Attorney General has given us an all clear because he's comfortable that we've addressed all the issues he has in it. So Randy, look, Nigeria, and I get the international pressure bit, but Randy, people must realize that it comes back to the kind of leadership and how leadership positions itself. Nigeria in 2015, 8 years ago, passed a law against same-sex marriages, similar to what we are doing. In 2015, Nigeria didn't get any sanctions, because the Nigerian government made it clear that they will reciprocate against any action that is taken against them. And Randy, the last point I'll make on this, why should anybody think that for us as Ghanaian legislators, who have been elected and paid, we are paid a salary every month, to pass law to reflect what our society wants? They say it's human rights. In the UK, the House of Commons, did they not recently pass legislation on migration, which many human rights people view as an infringement of the human rights of asylum seekers? Did they not, as members of parliament in the UK House of Commons, pass that legislation to say that asylum seekers must be brought to Rwanda Did you see African MPs or African governments rising up against them? In fact, that legislation, after it was passed by the House of Commons, was taken to courts. The courts in the UK have ruled that that legislation is a violation of human rights. Still, the UK government is saying they will proceed with that legislation. In the US, is the US Congress not pushing for the building of a wall? Have they not dedicated funds to building a wall to keep migrants out of their country? Has anybody said that US congressmen and British parliamentarians have erred or have done the wrong thing? Absolutely not. So why is it that Ghanaian MPs doing our job as MPs, somebody sitting somewhere will come and tell us what is right for Ghanaian people or not? Randy, let us take our destiny into our own hands. Let's pass legislation that reflects what we want to do or the aspirations of the Ghanaian people, and let's move on. The world will move on with us.
So what happened today?
Oh, today there is budget. Today we are supposed to have a head count. As to whether the majority would be minority today again, you know, the last week Thursday, they were minority in Parliament because they had only 3 members, whilst we had our full complement. We have our full complement. If they can bring their numbers, that's fine, but we're going to have a head count. The Speaker has indicated we'll have a head count. I'm hearing that some of their members are saying that they won't come to Parliament because they want them to come and pass a budget for the government, but the same government, people in the presidency are supporting people against them who are campaigning in their
But I thought that was one of the reasons why the General Secretary at yesterday's meeting
announced a suspension. But the point is, many of their members have gone back to their constituency because they say the party is sitting there and watching governments send these people to campaign against them, and you want them to leave their constituency and come. So if they are able to bring all their people, don't be surprised that today Parliament will start sitting around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock because they are now trying to bring all their people back. If they can, we'll go and have a head count. But today is budget. Okay. As for the bill, hopefully maybe on Friday, at the pleasure of Mr. Speaker, we may take it up. But Mr. Speaker is committed because you see, Randy, the Speaker's integrity is at stake here. Because this year, the Speaker met traditional authorities and members of the clergy, and they asked him categorically why the bill has taken so long. And the Speaker made a pledge that the bill will be passed this year. Now, if we don't do it and we rise on the 22nd, it means the Speaker has not kept his word. And that's why I'm saying that the Speaker's integrity is at stake here.
From New York to Parliament.
I was going to say Mr. Hiangba, but I had to think about it.
You have to be careful whether it's Miss, Mrs. or Mr.
I guess my response has set the tone for this conversation. I think that it's a very serious discussion that as a country, or as a society really, and culture, we must engage because it has implication for who we are, our understanding of our identity and how we proceed and what legacy we pass on to our children. So it's a very important conversation. But I want to ask Sam, I was trying to check, but I didn't get any definite answer from my search. Is this going to be, assuming it's passed, is it going to be the first private member's bill that is passed into law?
No.
Okay.
It won't.
Okay. So then,
in fact, let me ask another question, sorry. On the back of the president's position on the witchcraft one, about private members' bill or something, there are people who are raising questions about this because it is also a private member's bill.
Yeah.
And they're asking whether the same reasons the president has given as to why he is unable to assent to this bill will apply to the LGBTQ.
Randy, yes. I hold the view that Mr. Speaker and the Parliamentary Service should take the president to court.
Why?
Because the president, we need to get a determination of what the position of the law is. The president has his interpretation. The Speaker and Parliament have our interpretation. But per our Constitution, it is the Supreme Court that gives a determination of what the position of the law is. Because our reading, in fact, this is not the reading, and that's why I didn't just say the Speaker, I said Parliament. Because this position of Parliament was actually established by Professor Mike Eronokwe. That Article 108 cannot mean that members of Parliament cannot initiate legislation. because there will be financial cost. Because if you want to say that, then even the Attorney General's memo is time and material of the state in contributing to a private member's bill. It cannot be that the framers of the Constitution who allowed for private members' bill would then say that you cannot have any cost whatsoever to the state. And so the reading of 108 is that private members cannot initiate a bill that has financial implications, either by way of imposition of a tax or a levy on the people. It's clear. And it also goes ahead to then say that the determination of whether it imposes a financial cost or burden is the prerogative of the person presiding. Now, that then means, and that is why when you do a private members bill, the first private members bill was passed under Professor Michael Eronokwe. He determines.
Did the president sign it? Or he didn't need presidential
He didn't need
assent?
presidential accent,
Okay.
yes. That didn't need presidential accent because there was something on road traffic things by Kwame Agboja and co. So that didn't need presidential accent. Now, what you do with your private members bill is you submit it to the speaker for his approval because he needs to exercise that prerogative of whether it attracts financial implications. So we do that. When the person presiding decides that that bill does not impose financial implications, then it goes through the whole process. Now, you have the Attorney General take part in the witchcraft bill, for example. Bring his memo, take part in the conversations, and then Parliament passes it. Then you turn around and then say that, have the president say that, on the advice of the same Attorney General who took part in the processes for his approval, they are raising 108. And what is the 108? That there will be incarceration, possible incarcerations. Now, Parliament under Michael Quay established that for the purposes of private members' bills, things like incarceration, things like prosecution will not be deemed to be financial cost to the state. Because one, you are not building...
It's in the hands of Parliament.
Yes. One, you are not building new prisons for persons who will be prosecuted and convicted under the private members' bill.
The state will spend 180 pesos a day on them.
Yes, but Randy, the point we are making here is, in that case, if you want to do that kind of interpretation, there can never be a private members' bill that will impose any cost. And so that in itself flies against the letter and spirit of the Constitution. And that's why we are saying, and that's why I'm urging Parliament and Mr. Speaker to challenge the position of the President by going to the Supreme Court. Because you see, we are interpreting based on what we understand the Constitution to say. The President also is interpreting based on what, but are we saying that the President has the power to review a constitutional mandate and prerogative that has been given to the Speaker?
Well, that's not what the President has done.
That's not what he's done.
Anyway, I'm not saying the President is right.
No, Randy, I get it. But the President is citing Article 108 as the basis.
His understanding of 108.
Yes, but yes. Randy,
on the advice
of the Attorney General,
of his legal advisor.
But that 108 says that and you have a constitution here. I want to read the exact words. 108 says that the prerogative to make that determination is with the person presiding in Parliament, not anybody outside of Parliament. And that's why I think that we should go to the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court distinguish 108 for all of us.
No.
If the Supreme Court...
there may be... What you want to go and do at the Supreme Court is to ask the Supreme Court to declare the position of the President as unconstitutional on the basis...
That may be a dangerous slope to take. The Supreme Court, as it's composed, may be afraid to go against the President. So let us go on 108. If they determine what 108 is...
To interpret
it. Once they interpret it, it will then give us a clear understanding of whether the President's position is tenable or the Speaker's position is tenable. Do you get the point I'm making? Right. I don't want it to be that we are going for the Supreme Court to, because look, this is Ghana. If you ask the Supreme Court to take on the presidency, I'm not too confident in what the outcome may be. I think that we should go with 108.
Yeah.
Let them interpret 108 to us. When they interpret it, then everybody is clear in our minds what 108 is.
So 108,
yes,
settlement of financial matters.
Yes.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Says Parliament shall not, unless the bill is introduced or the motion is introduced by or on behalf of the President, A, proceed upon a bill including an amendment to a bill that, in the opinion of the person presiding, makes provisions for any of the following. I, the imposition of taxation or the alteration of taxation otherwise than by reduction, or II, the imposition of a charge on the consolidated fund or other public funds of Ghana, or the alteration of any such charge otherwise than by reduction, or III, the payment, issue or withdrawal from the consolidated fund or other public funds of Ghana of any money is not charged on the consolidated fund, or any increase in the amount of that payment, issue or withdrawal, or IV, the composition or remission of any debt due to the government of Ghana, or B, proceed upon a motion including an amendment to a motion, the effect of which, in the opinion of the person presiding, would be to make provision for any of the purposes specified in paragraph A of this article. So your point you're making is that throughout 108, the determination of whether anything infringes on this article is the prerogative of the person presiding. And so, in your view, if the person presiding thinks that it is okay, the person who has to assent the bill cannot refuse to assent on the basis that he disagrees with the position of the speaker.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
yes.
So it's not that clear.
Yes.
So I think that the president's position is tenable, because you talked about yes, we're not building new jail houses.
We're not recruiting new police prosecutors.
Yes, we're not recruiting. So all those are constant. But then you made the point already that their material time is cost to the state. So that is cost. And when people are incarcerated, the cost spent on them to keep them, whatever the amount is, also is cost. So you have increased.
Then we'll be getting into the realm of absurdity.
Right.
You know why? Yeah, because somebody will say that even the A4 paper that will be used to print the memo is cost to the state. And yes.
And the president's time to
assent
or not assent.
So then we should then scrap private members.
So the point, that's why I asked if the exceptions that he says Speaker Professor Okwe are captured in there, because that then will give a certain direction.
So there's a precedent.
Yes.
Yeah. But so I think that it's open for interpretation, and I think that by and large the Supreme Court can explain that for us. But for me, if I read it, I think I'm more tended
because
to agree.
It appears there's a disagreement between the Speaker and the President.
Right.
That the Speaker believes that he's on all fours with the Constitution. The President thinks otherwise. Now, the President is not saying that I am stopping you from doing what you are doing in Parliament. But after you've done what you are doing within your domain, he says that I cannot assent to it because I disagree
that it
with
violates
your position on the process.
Yes.
In this case, how do we resolve it?
Yeah.
Perhaps the court.
The courts, yeah. But for me, I think in my mind,
and that's why I asked the question about the LGBTQI one as well, because people are trying to establish some parallels. That look, this same private members bill is the same thing. There are even people who are saying that is the president not setting the tone.
Exactly.
To then say that look, in the same spirit with which I refuse to assent to the witchcraft one, I also refuse to assent to this one.
Yeah. So now, in this conversation, nobody is to blame. It's a constitution that is creating. And I'm saying that. No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
The constitution.
No, I'm not saying blame. You have to finish. I'm saying that it's the constitution that's created a situation of interpretation needing to be clear. Because if it at this point it allows the determination to be made by the speaker, and then the processes goes through the person who authorizes payments, right, who manages the purse of the state, makes a determination that that is going to by any means increase cost or impose cost on the state, stops it at that point. It's part of the process, right? And is on all four in seeking to make sure that the public purse is protected. On that score, I think that the suggestion that the Supreme Court comes in to give us a final interpretation of the position of the law, I think that is the only thing that probably will resolve the issue. But until then, I think all of us should perhaps side with the president, because he is in a position to do his job. And when he sees that something will impose cost on the state that is not supposed to, I think that is in his right to want to prevent that. So it's not to stifle the law, but it's to adhere to the law. That's an interesting position that we have. So going forward, perhaps maybe the Supreme Court can voluntarily take the issue, or somebody make application to them to decide the matter. And I think that's where the issue ought to be drawn. But in my view, that is just one issue to do with the matter.
The New Jerusalem.
Well, we haven't finished this topic. You're trying to introduce a new topic here. So the other thing I want to ask.
I'm just trying to figure out how God is feeling.
Yeah, we want to build a new Jerusalem yet.
Yeah, this is not fair. Why
I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Why you feel like going to Jerusalem?
I'm sorry.
Okay, so that is just one point. That it's important for us to establish that the bill does not impose any financial burden on the state, and I'm sure you understand that position, that it ought to be thorough, and somebody has to have an understanding that it is not. That is not to say an opposition to the bill, but it's a box we have to check. Now, the other thing I want to ask, you talked about this is the second time Speaker has to go somewhere and have somebody sitting, either the first or second Deputy Speaker sitting, and the occurrence you saw yesterday was the case, that the bill was supposed to be considered, but it wasn't the second time.
Yes.
So my question then is, why is the Speaker, whenever time it gets to looking at this bill, he has somewhere to go?
Well, that's not the case.
No, I'm just asking. It's not for you to answer. But it's a rhetorical question.
Well, I would answer if running gives me the opportunity.
No, I think the Speaker is he can answer when he gets the chance. But I'm just saying.
The Speaker won't come and sit on the team. I'll speak for him.
But I'm saying that 2 times is not enough to establish a pattern. But I'm just saying, is there a coincidence that he has to move when this thing has to be done? If he wants it to be done, why doesn't he sit? The person can wait, or find another day, or adjourn the House and say we'll do this first thing tomorrow. So that for me is concerning, that he would always not be available when we have to deal with this particular issue. So when we are trying to point fingers, we should point fingers at him and say, why are you always having somewhere to go if we have to look at this bill? The other thing I want to say, perhaps for your comfort, is that we have plenty of time, right? And then the indication is that after budget, there's time you can take this before you are rising sometime, I think 22nd. Yeah, so you have space to be able to take it. And so for me, I don't think that all is lost. The thing is, the bill is in the House actively available for consideration. So let's allow for time to deal with these matters, because my understanding is that if not for Speaker needing to go somewhere yesterday, it would have been considered. So really, all is not lost, and so let's just understand that it's a matter of time, and then this thing will be done. As to supporting or not supporting it, I think that the nature of the bill actually invokes that atmosphere. It's a difficult thing. There are a lot of delicate matters linked to it, even though the determination of a man and woman sexuality is clear in our minds. But then in the context of society, in the context of global interconnectivity, there are delicate matters to do with it. And it's our country, all right, but we live here with a lot of people. The space is shared. The global space is shared. And so when you're passing laws that are consequential in this manner, you want to be very deliberate. You want to consider all factors, dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So it is for nothing at all. I would suggest that the time probably that this thing has endured would be useful in trying to make sure that it comes out as a bill or as a law that would help promote society, that would help ensure the cohesion of our society, that will make us make a case to the world that indeed we are accepting, we are understanding of what the sensitivities are across the world, but we are determined to state our position as a society, as a people, that this is who we are and this is how we want to conduct our affairs. So I think that the time is good, the deliberation is important, and I commend you for leading that. But let's be a bit patient. Let's drive it gradually. But ultimately, what comes out of this, I suppose that posterity will have the record to say that it was a very elaborate process. A lot of time was spent in thinking about it to make it better. Under the circumstance, what we've got is the best that can be gotten. So let's not feel as though that something is being done intentionally to prevent the bill from seeing the light of day, but rather let's endure in trying to make the case that this is something that is good for our society. In the end of time, if it doesn't pass, at least you'll be credited for having done what you have to do. And those who perhaps may have good reasons to oppose it will also would have to explain why they feel that this is a better cause for society. But ultimately, I just want to encourage you not to give up, but to endure. You've come a long way. Let's engage the process, and I think ultimately what comes out will be useful for us, whether passed or not. Ghana will be better for it.
Well, just 30 seconds, and I agree with you. One thing I can assure you is that I'm not giving up. I won't give up. It's not in my nature to give up. And this is actually the point I'm making, that for anybody who has an opposition to the bill, the amendment stage is actually your best opportunity to either fight. Look, you can actually file an amendment. And we did that with the e-levy. Haruna did that with the e-levy bill, where Haruna filed an amendment where all he said was for each clause in the e-levy bill, he said delete, delete, delete. So what you are basically saying is that you don't want this bill, so you are moving an amendment that they should delete the entire clause. So by the time you do that argument, a vote is put. We vote on it. If you get your way, you end up deleting all the clauses or whatever you don't want or whatever you want amended. This is where to do it. So my argument is, why would anybody want to use the processes to prevent that from happening? So that if you have an opposition, state it openly. Let's debate the issues. Parliament is a house of debate. The last thing I want is for this to be run roughshod. And that's why we wanted to take the bill, for example, yesterday. Because after you are done with the budget approvals, if it happens today, what then happens is committees begin to sit on estimates. So members are largely, that's when you see 3-4 people sitting in the chamber. You don't want a bill of this nature to be taken when you don't have the full complement of members, because members are in committee considering estimates. You want everybody, you want a robust debate. You want the Hansard to represent all shades of opinion, so that when tomorrow somebody picks the legislation after it's been passed, they can understand the letter and spirit from the arguments that were made. So that's why we're pushing for this to be done. You understand me? And on the speaker's issue, look, when the bill was read the first time, the speaker was the one who presided. When we came for second reading, he was the one who presided. In fact, with this one, it is the amendment. And I agree with you. And yesterday I told the speaker, I said, sir, I think where we've got into, you need to sit and start the amendment process yourself. Because like you're saying, everybody must show their level of commitment. I don't doubt the speaker's commitment, because we've come this far because of him. Largely because of him. And so I'm encouraging him also to show that last lap of commitment. It's like a relay race 4x100, where in the last lap, he should start the process.
That's what matters, yeah.
You understand? Because if he's sitting in the chair and we start clause 1 amendment, whoever takes the chair from him cannot come and say, I'm stopping. Yeah. You continue. Because maybe that's what we have to do. Because ultimately, I am saying, everybody who has an opinion, don't call Sam George, don't call Bejra. Come to the floor and come and make your argument. If your argument makes it, for example, the amendments that are in the order paper, Randy, those were not the things that we as sponsors took in the bill. And I keep saying that if the amendment, anybody who takes the amendment sheet, you will see that there is a considerable change to even the sentencing in the bill. It's changed. The amendments for it, which we as sponsors have agreed to. Why? I was of the view with my colleagues that for anybody guilty of the offense, your minimum sentence should be 5 years. For anybody guilty of propagating, because again, I keep saying, in this bill, the focus is on the propagation and advocacy, even more than on the act. So in our original bill, if you were caught in the act, the minimum sentence will start from 5 years and above, depending on the discretion of the judge. If you were caught advocating or promoting it, the minimum sentence was 10 years. But if you take the amendments that have been filed, which are on the order paper, which are public records, which we as sponsors have agreed to, right now, we have actually made the maximum sentence for the offense 3 years. Maximum. 3 years.
Which offense? The propagation?
The act itself, which was a minimum of 5 years. Now, maximum is maximum 3 years. For propagation, which was 10 years. Now, it's maximum 5 years. Now, all of this came out of engagements with committee members, the Attorney General, and the cases and arguments that they made for a certain reduction and alignment with the Sentencing Act. So it's not as though we are some dogmatic group of fellows who this is all we want. Once they brought the Sentencing Act states that if this is a misdemeanor, this is what the duration of sentencing can be. If it's a second degree felony, this is what the duration can be. You cannot argue against that. So that's why we're saying, if there is any compelling reason, we have shown our willingness to be amenable. Bring it, let us discuss it, and let us amend it.
Okay. So imagine
I don't know if you get the argument we are making.
Imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo Season is all about. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store or App Store and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant either through the QR code or merchant ID and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big this Momo season. Visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for business account today. It's Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions do apply. And let me talk to you about Kel Kids toothpaste flavored with strawberry that gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between the ages of 2 and 6. It's a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy, smile. And this has become like a favorite line for me. Enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. And climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but there's a solution for you. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lifts and Elevators at Sakumono, or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations on the best solution in easy vertical movement. And let me talk to you about Black Star Press Limited, because it's the printing press that you actually need. At Black Star Press Limited, they grow businesses inside inventive minds, evolving concepts and the creative trends. Witness the beauty, diversity, and natural wonder with your works, and you will never look elsewhere. Black Star Press Limited is associated with a Lionhead group of companies. You can reach them on 0200880000 for all your print works. 0200880000. At Black Star Press Limited, they print everything printable except money. Black Star Press Limited, a worldwide reputation for quality printing. And Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital has the best for you. It's the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with the state-of-the-art medical equipment created for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is at Klagon on the Lashibia Shaman Road near the Underbridge, and they are open from Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sundays 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can also reach them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointments. Amen. Alternative Medical Hospital, God is the healer. And we need to take a break, but let me do this. Manche Bruce, Dr. Manche Bruce. He says, I've come to love Sam George for a strong advocacy against LGBTQ+. The practice is an evil omen of chaos, and it could lead to people wedding animals. We cannot allow our family to be taken away. We must protect it with all our strength. We must survive this ideological hurricane. We shall continue to support Sam George and his like-minded colleagues on this mission to succeed. So that's Dr. Manche Bruce from Takrady Technical University. But I received this earlier on in the program from Abraham Ferguson.
Okay.
Says, I'm left with no doubt that to agree with Eduji and Collins that you are now an old man. Collins here refers to the Honorable Collins Adumakumese. Says this video that broke the internet to the extent that Honorable Sam George even got free invitations to treat from several lefties across the globe. That made him spend extra nights in his hotel in America. You did not see. You are indeed an old man. We'll be back shortly.
Tell Ferguson I'm taking him to Parliament for contempt.
Owusu, the late former majority leader.
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay. Momo? Yes! Oh yes! Got a payment to make? Just Momo it!
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ampedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me problems room ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra mienu foforo kwa na me coin mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwojo eda ho a wontumi nante
and then call end point. Or mama numra, and then the white dear, what me sorry ananti.
That's end point for you. Hello. Hey, what? Okay. A free bra with the end point. What dance? I'm the choir, no. Me just say my name Koye, and pass one of my name and then Medina Sabema. Now, me be here for the one in You heard everything. I have secret. End point is my secret. End point homeopathy clinic. I'm free.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ekropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ekropon right after the Latte Junction, or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
So Parental is the solution.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by
lesson in giving than receiving. When you fear for you and couple the makers in
The pneumatological abrasion of the Lord revealed unto me this night that me and my household should go out into the world and bless the world.
Makers Electronics Company Limited. Up to 67% discount. Our selected appliances.
This is what I call quintessential immaculatability.
The Makers Electronics Company Limited. Taifa Burkina Highway. Amasama Zongo Junction. K Pharmacy Dining. Oyer Fateman Boga Junction. Ashaman Valco Flat. Kumasi. Ahinema Kokobin. Asafubuachi Hospital Junction. Number 9 Market.
Tell mom and dad about the Makers Blessing Attack program
from 0552 222 253 and 0552 222 254. Terms and conditions apply.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have the Honorable Sam George and Richard Ahiagba. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, us got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on their website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some moolah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Pack Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, and it's not for persons under the age of 18. Play responsibly. Now, charcoal has essential medicinal properties that help remove toxins from our bodies. The natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Constant use of Kel Charcoal Toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, upset stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years and above. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. And this is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, happy, smile. And whoever you are, wherever you do, wherever you go, drink Angel Cola, your key to enjoyment. Ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? Onya, you've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion. Angel Mango. Angel Peach, refresh your mood. Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited. Angel Drinks taste like our day. Recommended for all, including children. Contact, you can reach them on 0244-832286 and 0507878668. Terms and conditions apply. And there is the Makers Electronics Blessing Attack promo, which has up to 67% discount on selected electronic appliances from brands such as Samsung, LG Moved, Nasco, TCL Media, and Toshiba. And so rush to the Makers Electronics Company Limited. They've won numerous awards, including Outstanding Customer Service Company of the Year, Responsible Electronics Company of the Year. Makers Electronics have quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics with 2 years manufacturer defect warranty. You can visit the showrooms at Taifa Burkina Highway, Amasaman Zongo Junction, or Yarefa Teman Boga Junction, Kaswa New Market, Ashaman Valco Flat, Kumasi Ahinima Kokobing, and Takrade Fekuman number 9 Market. You can also reach them on 055-2222-53 or 055-2222-54. The Makers Electronics are large in charge with quality but affordable home appliances and consumer electronics. Terms and conditions do apply. And why don't you buy a home in a very serene environment? I'm talking about the hills of Ebri and Akropong. This is what Kingdom Home Real Estate is providing you. Quality but affordable housing facilities for sale. And they're just 30 minutes drive from Accra and provide a modern touch of comfort. They provide high standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply and electricity. You're surrounded by lovely tourist sites such as the Bray Botanical Garden, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resort, etc. All you need to do is to pay 70% upfront, and the rest, that's a 30%, is spread over a 2-year period with no interest payment at all. Locate the Bree homes at very close to the Bree Girls School, and the Krupon ones are right after the latter junction. You can also reach them on 0559-761-144 or 0555-621-611. You can visit them on at www.kingdomhomerealestate.com or their Facebook page. Richard, yesterday on the show, we had a news item from City News, which indicated that there was going to be a meeting about the running mate of your party's flag bearer, Dr. Bahumia. And we had cause to also look at your constitution. The constitution clearly stated that when the party is not in government, or when it is in government but the candidate is not the president, the running mate shall be chosen by the candidate in consultation with the National Council 12 months before the election. Today is exactly 12 months. In fact, yesterday would be. Today is the 7th, so yesterday. It will be 12 months before the election. And so with the meeting yesterday, there were a lot of speculations. Some said that a list was going to be shortlisted for the candidate. Some said the candidate was going to announce it and all that. But you had a meeting yesterday.
Yeah.
The General Secretary has spoken to the media. Take us through what happened yesterday and what necessitated the request and the granting of the request, and what then happens. We also didn't see some timelines, and so just take us through that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I think that it's in order. I think the particular article you referred to is Article 13 of our Constitution. The running mate.
13.3.
Yes, 13.3.
13.3.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Yes.
So. Flag bearer, based on that meeting yesterday, came to the National Council to ask for time. And the basis for that request was to allow him additional time for consultation. And I think that...
Why did he need additional time? Did he indicate why he needed additional time?
Yeah, so for consultation. So it's not necessarily time, but was asking for consultation, and which consultation will require time. And so on the basis of that, I think the party agreed unanimously that yes.
Did it have to do with the closeness of the period that he was chosen?
Well, you can say so, because if you're looking at it literally needing additional period for consultation, then you think you would have said that perhaps maybe if he had been selected much earlier, then you would have naturally had that time. But it is more linked to the need for him
to consult
further, so that he is clear and the National Council, because after the selection, it's in consultation in National Council, so he would go through a process, have a, settle on an individual, bring it to National Council, be discussed and all of that. So he needs the space to be able to do it. And I think that that is supreme, or that is more critical than the constitutional limit on time. Even though he's not the president, the provision there is to allow for the promotion and advertising of the candidate in good time before the election. So even though he's not the president, he's widely marketed, the country knows who he is, and so we don't suffer anything from the exposure that is required within the 12 months before that. So, but what is key in my understanding is that
But I'd have thought that exposure is rather for the running mate than the candidate.
Right, certainly, yes, certainly.
Unless you are telling us that the running mate and is a very popular person.
Well, certainly the running mate will be somebody we know, because the Constitution, it's somebody, it will definitely be somebody that we know, because the Constitution stipulates that in Article 13 also that the individual must be a member of the party who at minimum...
But this man is a member of your party. He's been a member for more than 5 years. He's 40 years and above. Nobody knows him, apart from us here.
But you know how many people have gone through your studio?
So you tell us.
I know how many people have gone through
you know that the person who will be chosen is known by us all.
It will surprise you if he is announced tomorrow. People will be like, oh, really? He's known widely. But the point is like essentially to be a member of the New Patriotic Party for 5 years in some shape or form, you'll be known. And so definitely you'll be known. If we were able to finish with a consultation and announce the running mate yesterday, all well and good. But I don't think that we lose anything. In any case, we actually gain through the deliberate consultations that he wants to make. My view is that it will help us settle. There are a lot of qualified individuals who could pair with him and give the MPP success.
Qualified on the basis of which criteria?
In terms of quality and capability to pair with him. And
the National Women's Organizer says that you've taken a decision. And the decision is that a person, 1, male, 2, from Ashanti. One of the, I think the first deputy speaker also has also said that the decision of a party is that a candidate will come from Ashanti.
Well, you know,
as for a majority leader, he said that Ashanti, but it won't be a person who is arrogant and hot-headed.
But you know, so what you just said suggests that people are at liberty to say what they want to say. But the candidate...
No, I'm saying that your NEC members, at least one NEC member says a decision has been taken.
Well,
and that it's a male and Ashanti.
Well, I'm a member...
The first deputy speaker says that Ashanti, the decision has been taken.
Yeah. I'm a member, and I'm not party to...
the Honorable Chairman Sabo, so I can call that a bit subjective.
Yeah.
that he is referring to traits.
So it's an interesting time. But the point is that the party has not taken any decision on who. But perhaps what people are referring to is there are...
And it looks like the new definition, sorry, it looks like a new definition of humility is prostration and kneeling. Lying, prostrate, and kneeling. Yeah.
But it's a manifestation of that.
A new definition. I tried looking through your constitution to see if I could see a definition clause to see whether maybe there's a definition.
The continuation will come. The continuation. But the point is that people are liberty, and all this speculation are part of the politics trying to extend the perimeter of search. To bring certain people.
It's rather limiting it.
Well, I mean,
Ashanti male.
Yes, one person's description of this of that. So it is well, probably some would constrict it, some will expand.
A lot of kneeling and lying down prostrate.
So the key thing, which is a takeaway from yesterday, is that the flag bearer himself is intentional, is deliberate, and is not taking this an easy task, but he's determined to make sure that ultimately who he presents to National Council for consideration would be one that checks all the boxes, will be one that complements him, will be one that the party will accept generally and work with. And so in that spirit, I think that the National Council was gracious yesterday unanimously to grant him the window, particularly to consult more and ensure that his choice is accepted in the end. For me, the individuals who are speculated to be possible running mates, I think are all qualified, and that makes his job even more difficult to drill down and settle on one of the many qualified individuals. I think that I don't envy the vice president or the flag bearer of our party. I don't envy him at all. It's a tough order to try to settle on the matter. Now, most people have come to make the point you're making in relation to the vice presidential candidate or running mate from Ashanti, because we have a minority at the head of the ticket, and so therefore naturally you would want to strengthen the ticket by pulling from our natural stronghold, which is Ashanti region. So for me, if that is people's speculation is naturally occurring because of the head of the ticket, so I will not have anything else to say or oppose that. The only thing is that we haven't decided as a party, as National Council, to say that this is who we want, or this must be the region the person comes from. It's just reasonable speculation, reasonable calculation, given who we have at the head of the ticket. And because if you remember, if it were an Akan who is the head of the ticket, naturally the position will be that we have a running mate from a minority.
But this one, they're saying that a decision has been taken.
And I'm saying that...
Ashanti, not Akan.
Yeah.
Ashanti.
Yeah.
And male.
I'm saying that no such decision has been taken.
Who is also not hot-headed and arrogant.
So yes, no decision whatsoever has been taken on the matter.
They're lying.
They're speaking their mind. They're speaking their minds. Okay.
And so they lied.
The body, no.
They said a decision has been taken.
Yeah.
So if you say that they are speaking their mind, it means they lied.
Well, 3 or 4 of them can sit and take that decision, but National Council has not taken that decision.
NEC hasn't taken that decision.
No. Even NEC is not seized with the power to take that decision. National Council is seized the power. That decision has not been taken. Yesterday, there was no discussion about that whatsoever. It was a straightforward to say that given the activities of the party, we are trying to process our final batch of MPs or candidate for parliamentary election in 2024, which is now going to be, I think, 27th of January or so. And in the midst of all the...
What influenced that 1 week extension?
Oh, because there's Parliament is engaged now from now till 22nd when they rise, and these particular MPs are needed in the House. If you start a process now that requires them to stay home and campaign, you might not have them in Parliament. So the adjustment was to allow for them to finish parliamentary business and then be able to focus on that. So it's a rational choice to make sure that...
So when was the Vice President given any timelines?
No, there was no timeline specifically, and I think I was happy.
So he has a blank check?
Generally, and I think I like that, because really then it gives him, takes away the pressure to then deal with the matter and say that, look, I want to get the right person, which the party wants, which is what the party wants, to get the ultimate good candidate who will then give us the potential. Remember, we are determined to win the election in 2024, so you must be intentional.
If your constitution says 12 months, for very good reasons, you've given the spirit behind that. But the same constitution gives the National Council the power
to vary it.
To vary it.
Yes, which the
and in their wisdom, they decide to vary it. Yeah. Must they not vary it up to a period? Let's say that maybe, okay, in view of this, we're giving you, say, a March, when the primaries would have been over, and you would have had a whole quarter of the year. In fact, you would have had 4 more months.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Rather than to say that it's a blank check.
Yeah. Well,
when you are ready, come.
Yeah. So I think that what National Council did, what you are saying would have arisen in the event that there was disagreement, right? That we want it now or whatever. But then there was no such disagreement. When he made the case, naturally, it was well received, and we say, yeah. Because,
no, I agree, but you can't give a blank check.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean, the Constitution says 12 months.
Right.
But it also gives you the power
to vary it.
To vary.
Yeah.
Just in case there are reasons why the 12 months must be looked at. But obviously, the intention of the Constitution was not for you to rubbish it completely.
Right.
So well, in acceding to a request to vary, you also ought to not go too further from the dictate of the Constitution.
So I can assure you that the Vice President, if it were not because it was important, he won't request it. We can make a choice, because you would understand that probably even through the process, he's been thinking about who. But he's gotten to a point where he feels that I need a bit more consultation. Now, those consultations is...
I know why, but I won't tell you.
You know why?
Okay. Tell you.
Okay, good. That's for me will be for good reason. To ensure that he consults as many people as possible, including voters, right? In our party, including founding fathers, including Council of Elder members, including even chiefs and across the country, to make sure that this person is acceptable.
Who's your choice?
My choice will be you.
Me?
Yes.
I obviously don't qualify.
Well, so that's why my choice won't matter.
It won't matter.
If my choice is
people are mentioning their choices.
Yeah.
The MPA boss has mentioned the Honorable Poku Prempe.
But I have also mentioned my choice.
Yeah, but your choice is not qualified to be running mate in your party.
Maybe that's why the Vice President needs more consultation.
No, he can't. It's not possible.
Because if you put my choice in the equation,
are you for Professor Onyina?
I think so. My choice is anyone that the Vice President will choose will be my choice. That would be your choice. That would be my choice. Okay. Because even it was exemplified yesterday when he had come to ask for further consultation, which means that he's invested in getting the ultimate.
You support Kukufu.
Well, if he becomes the Vice President's choice, who am I? I will support and make sure the job is done. But I think that the most important...
Who are the front runners?
If I am making a list...
No, who are the front runners, yes? In your view, I mean, you talk to party people. Who do you think are the front runners?
You know, I don't want to engage in that speculation, right? I don't want to engage in that. All of that.
From what you're hearing, but I'm not asking you to tell me what the preference of the vice president is. But from what you are hearing from your party people, who are the front runners?
But you know, so the difficulty in answering that question is that there are so many people. If I mention one or two and I forget genuinely not to mention
five.
What if the sixth person?
So mention six.
I'll stay away from that. Okay. But the key thing I would say is that...
Are there any women?
I would love if there are women.
No, I'm saying, with what you're hearing, the rank and file, I mean, the names are really coming up. Are there any women? The names that you're hearing, those names that are really coming up.
A lot of people are speculated for that. Women are included. But I don't want to get into
non-Ashantis?
Predominantly, I think that, you see, so the position is clear. So if anybody tells you that a decision has been made, the space is clear where the vice president or vice presidential candidate should come from. It's clear. Looking at the space is clear. We have a minority at the head of the ticket. We have a stronghold. That you do that combination, it helps us. That's always the calculation. But for me, the vice president task is settling on one out of many. Many.
You think he should go outside Matthew Opoku Prempeh?
A good candidate.
A
good candidate.
And Dr. Duchum. Should he go outside his three?
It will depend on him.
Should he go outside his three? Or should he stick to these three?
If I see him and he asks my opinion, I'll tell him.
I'm asking you.
But I have proposed you, so why will I be telling you another
I don't qualify. So
well, in my view, if you're qualified...
I don't qualify.
Okay.
Even the Aglika close seller at the flower knows that.
Knows you are not qualified. But would you accept it if you are deemed qualified?
No.
Okay, so then my choice is not considered. So the key thing for me is that the vice president has demonstrated to National Council that he's not taking this lightly. And so ultimately, whoever results as his running mate will be one that he has given careful consideration to. And I believe National Council will also do same. And then ultimately we'll have somebody who is most suited to pair with him.
A man for a book. I said something to you. I'm sure you didn't hear it. That's fine.
I heard my own comment.
It's not meant for him to hear.
I heard my own comment. Randy. You see this running mate issue?
Me.
I'm going to figure I'm saying. At your connection.
But before Sam comes in, you recognize how difficult that can be.
What?
If you're the flag bearer.
It depends on what is giving you the difficulty.
No, I'm saying that generally, hold everything constant.
Yeah, especially when there's a high level of interest, and that interest is also fueling some level of activism and generosity in quotes. It could make sense to ask for more time.
Yeah, no, okay, so you hold everything else
these
constant.
Days,
just hold
everything. Want some generosity.
But you see, hold everything constant. If you take former President Rawlings's pairing, that the circumstances were different with Akar, for example. You want some chemistry. Apart from everything else, you want some chemistry. Then, so the difficulty with Akar, but then when...
But if it's chemistry, there must be the finance minister.
I don't know. I think if there's a committee considering this... No, I'm coming. If it was a committee, then maybe I would recommend you on a committee.
A new Mecca and New Jerusalem.
But the point that I'm making is that clearly it's a difficult task. Right. And if you look at Akar, it was a difficulty there. But when President
Rawlings... If chemistry, then it must be Professor Tifa.
But that is one. I'm just demonstrating one. Right. So when you see the former President Rawlings, when he chose Atta Mills, their pairing was fantastic to the point that he de facto, selected him as the man to continue from him. So that is a key attribute that you're looking for, among other things. So it's a difficult task to have an individual who may have a lot of connection with people to choose one out of many.
Is freaking me out.
Good morning.
He has an award for me. Interview of the year.
Yes, you see this matter.
Yes.
I think that
and in discussing this, be mindful that you have also not chosen yours.
Yes, absolutely.
So be careful how far you
go. No, I'm not going to talk plenty. I mean, this is his matter.
I'm just reminding you.
This is his matter. I mean,
so when he finishes, talk about his matter.
It is fair and square that we need to be careful who you choose as running mates. And I can understand why.
Go morning, lawyer 24.
I can understand why Dr. Baumia.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's admiring my cross-examination.
I can understand why Dr. Baumia would, Dr. Timothy Baumia would take his time to try and balance out his nomination as flag bearer. But like you rightly pointed out, I mean, it is a known fact where the power blocks behind Dr. Baumia want for him to go. I mean, Richard is Director of Communications. If he sits here and says that he's not aware of the decision for it to be a male, for it to be an Ashanti, then have you been sleeping at committee meetings? Or there's a kitchen cabinet you are not part of?
Maybe.
That would be surprising.
Maybe.
But you know, Randy, even though I hold the strongest belief that Dr. Baumia would not be our president in 2025, and that by the grace of God and by the will of the Ghanaian people, John Dramani Mahama will be president, he's still candidate of one of the biggest political parties in the country.
The biggest?
One of the biggest. The biggest is the NDC, we all know that. But, you know, Randy, a key consideration for anyone who would lead a nation would be that we want that person as our president to have peace of mind at home. Because if you have peace of mind at home, you're in a good place to deal with the troubles of the nation. If home is troubled, you're coming from a troubled home to come and deal with the troubles of the nation. And so I think that one key criteria that the NPP must look at in choosing the running mate will be a person that ensures the peace and stability of Dr. Baumia's home and doesn't create problems in his home for him.
What do you mean?
The president needs to have peace in his house. Dr. Baumia will need to have peace in his house. His running mate must not be someone who creates problems in his home. It's one of the criteria. Okay, and so, because, why are you trying to make this an issue?
I should have...
We are discussing criteria.
I should have prevented you from commenting on this until you choose
your
flag bearer. Until you choose your running mate.
Randy, why are you guys behaving like this? We are all talking about criteria. You spoke, for example, about humility.
We have finished speaking about proper human
family
values.
Why are they ganging up on me? Have I said something wrong, Randy?
Have
I said something wrong?
Yes, you are saying something wrong. You are saying something wrong.
What is going on here?
Stick to what happened at the National Council meeting.
That's what I'm saying. You spoke about humility. Why? Lying down, prostrate, and kneeling down. Did it happen at National Council meeting? That also happened at National Council meeting. Fantastic. So, you see, humility is one factor. I'm just adding to... You see, I told you I won't speak plenty. You spoke about humility. You spoke about compatibility. We're all dropping criteria that must... And those criteria must also apply to President Mahama in choosing his running mate. Humility, compatibility, but most importantly, peace at home. That the flag bearer must have peace at home. His running mate must not be one who creates chaos and confusion in the flag bearer's house. If we are able to find such a candidate, Dr. Baumia, I mean, humility, compatibility, domestic peace, and we are done.
What time did you retire to bed yesterday?
Wait, one stone.
I mean, immediately I entered the studio, so I'm just started saying,
all manner of things.
You know, if we were fellow Marcus, we would have asked him to sit down.
What have I said wrong?
You are clearly out of order.
I am confused because I thought that or the president doesn't need peace of mind at home.
It's okay. You are done.
The flag bearer doesn't need peace of mind at home.
You are done.
Yeah, so Randy, I agree with you. I think that Dr. Bawumia should make his choice quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, but he should be minded about someone who is humble enough, someone who is compatible with him, and someone who grants him peace of mind at home. And he should be good to go. But whoever he chooses, even if he has a special dispensation to lump up the 6 or 7 that you were hesitant to mention, and all have all of them, and have all of them. In fact, Randy, that reminds me. You see, it's good. I just saw a statement. By a group called Development and Freedom Group. Pick Honorable Dr. Brian Echiampong to break the 8 with
That's
ease.
the MPP's motto, right?
Yes. And so it's Development in Freedom Group. Press release for immediate release, 7th December 2023. Pick Honorable Dr. Brian Echiampong to break the 8 with ease. Signed by Honorable Akwesi Owusu, President, Development in Freedom Group. But per the criteria that we are talking about, Brian Echiampong is from Eastern Region.
Right.
And Tuoma Bolos.
Right. So that's not even a criteria.
Or the Ashanti region male is not alone.
Well,
or Brian is not from Eastern region.
You see, one thing I've learned.
It's not Akan.
No, one thing I've learned is that when it comes to politics and political office, we're able to trace
ancestry
and whatever. So mind you that the Kwus
migrated from the Ashanti region. So that opens a window for Brian.
You can extend it.
I just saw this. I felt
then Brian know who his great grandparents or whatever.
And they're also matrilineal, right? So maybe his mother's.
Well, if matrilineal, then his mother more likely will be
Ashanti.
No, it will be Kwewu, and then the father probably.
Maybe Kwewu because he grew up there with his father. That's how come he qualified to contest from there. He comes from there. But you see, Randy, all in all, the person must be humble, the person must be compatible, and the person must bring peace to the home of the flag bearer. And that is critical. I mean, if he doesn't have peace, he can't be compatible. And your humility will be lost on him, and he can't think about the troubles of this country. So, critically, the running mates of the flag bearer must be someone who does not begin a World War III in the household.
It's okay.
Thank you. I rest my case. I'm done.
Just a quick to talk about.
You want to talk about peace in the home of the flag bearer?
No, talk about the NDC's own candidate.
Oh, but because
I'm saying about nothing has happened. Okay. But I'm just saying that in the space, right? You see, in our case, naturally, the suspicion is that the person must come from, Ashanti, not because of anything, but because it's a stronghold, right? And then you are doing that electoral calculation, it comes from there.
So there are people sending me messages that are mischievous. What have I said?
They're right.
Oh, how?
So they are right.
What have I done?
They are right.
Can you explain?
They're right.
I'm lost.
I won't entertain you. Richard, go on.
Okay. So naturally, it's a demarcation.
And Annie, stop showing the pictures that you're showing.
It's a demarcation of the electoral map that is made it so that everybody thinks that it must come from Ashanti. And the prerogative is with the candidate to make that choice. But in the NDC one, the same principle could apply. And I want to challenge my Votarian brothers in the NDC to make a strong case for former President Mahama to choose somebody from the voters.
Why?
Because it is their natural stronghold, right? I have made this point over a period of time that the NDC is not being strategic. And the leaders in the party now, Kwame Agboja, Honorable Ablakwa, Honorable Bejra, and the rest, they must make a strong case.
No, be happy they are not making a strong case.
Why?
Be excited.
Excited. Why are they excited?
Yeah, because your proposition shows that if they don't go by your prescription, they will not be formidable in the election. So be happy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm coming to. I know.
So be happy. Don't even advise them. Let them go the same.
No, but you see, wait. You see, the matter will not come up for discussion
unless you bring it up.
No, unless they make a case and it doesn't happen, then we come in and say, you look at it.
You
because
who?
me, the MPP, will come in to say that look at how they have been treating you. Because we have made this case over and over and over again. Right?
Randy, I didn't talk plenty about the flag
but
bearer. You let me talk about.
I'm not being mischievous.
Let me talk about my flag bearer. I want to talk about my flag bearer.
Let me finish.
You've talked plenty.
No, but you had a chance to talk about my
30 seconds.
So you see, if the matter does not come up this way, then it makes it as though that, oh, they are okay. They are not okay. I know they are not okay. Right? And we have been telling them that the NDC is taking them for a ride.
Do you need a meeting with the Volta Regional House of Chiefs? I can arrange one for you.
If that happens, I'll take it. But the point we have been saying is that the NDC is taking them for a ride, and they must jump on the MPP party so that we can create a better atmosphere in the Volta region, because the NDC does not portend any good for them in the Volta region.
I was going to say something, but I'm caught in a fix.
Randy,
I was going to ask I was going to ask if the K2 South people will be happy with how you K2 South and Volta region will be happy with how you have been elevated as a good example for them to really come on board. They will be looking more at how people like you,
but you don't have an answer
have been
for that.
Considered,
yes,
than looking at what's happening elsewhere.
But you see, and that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy because it creates the impression that it furthers the impression they must stay with the NDC. But the NDC.
No, you don't get the point I'm making. Well, I'm saying that at least for the few like you who go out of your way, even during dry seasons and desert conditions and everything, to put your head on the block. A lot of your people there will be looking at how people like you have been positioned. And that is what will motivate them. Do you get the point I'm making?
Yeah, I get. But
instead of you saying that they should look at the other side, they also be looking at you.
But
you're coming back again.
That is the argument they make in the region. So that, for example, the NDC in the Volta region, the NDC will not do anything. Let's grant me that the NDC will not do anything for Votarian, but they will vote for the NDC. And then when you ask them to vote for MPP, they ask you that what has the MPP done for us? And the question is that the person who has not done anything for you, you are with that one, and you are questioning somebody.
So they should leave to join another who is not doing anything for them.
You see, the implication of this move is that, one, it will create incentive for the NDC to do something for the Volta region, because they now see that the Volta region has an option.
Okay, you love your people.
Yes. So now we are caught.
Is it the other one who is inside? That's for his place. They are always stealing scrap whatever.
So see that the argument
where he goes to the office, he has to go and work
for our people to make a rational political decision to say that we want a party that will serve our interests. So whether it's the NDC or MPP, we will vote for one who will solve us. And I believe that when we begin to make that rational decision, the Volta region will evolve, and the political parties will serve the place better. And I think that the MPP is standing in a much stronger position to win that conversation, because we have done a lot for the Volta region in spite of the lack of support from the region. Yeah.
Randy,
I'm sure you wrote the president's humor in quote.
You are never going to stop.
But Randy, I'm confident that.
Speak to the issues.
President. Oh, yes. President. Oh, Randy, but you are suggesting I don't speak to the issues.
In the previous one, you didn't.
I did. No, I only gave a criteria like you did. I hold the view that President John Dramani Mahama would very soon make his choice of who the running mates would be. But you see, when you wear spectacles, and Randy, you do wear spectacles, if your lens is colored blue, everything you will see will look bluish, unless it is a plain lens that allows you to see the color of everything. I can appreciate where Richard is coming from. I mean, he comes from a party that is built on tribal lines, a tribalistic party. So it is Ashantis, not even Akants, it's Ashanti. So it must be Ashanti. And so that would influence his thought process in saying to the NDC, which is a Congress that accepts and elevates everybody, whether you are a Frafra or a Dagomba, whether you are a Grushi or an Akan, whether you are a Dangme boy or a Guan, you have an equal standing. Look at the NDC and look at the young people who have been elevated in the NDC. Look at my year group and look at the diversity in ethnicity and tribal leanings. That is the NDC. We are a Congress. We are, yeah, I mean, either parliament or even as appointees of government. Yeah. Yes. You understand me? And so we are a Congress that we don't need to go to the Volta region to create a sense of belonging for our brothers for the Volta region. And it's very rich coming from you. You are a son of the Volta region that's lost. Randy. This guy,
the NDC thinking
you are more of an Achim today. You are more from Chebi than from K2 South or K2 North. You are more from Chebi than from K2 North. So you are the last person to speak about the Volta. And the point Randy asked you see, it's lost on you.
It's not.
You want the Voltarians to look at you and your party as an option. How many times has the MPP not passed you up for what is really due you? Look, for the work that you do for the NPP, carrying the load of the NPP, when those who are enjoying the largesse of the government choose to run away from coming to sit on platforms like this because of the rot, you have brought your face and stuck your neck out like a man. And that is the only thing in you that makes me know that you are Voltarian. Voltarians are not cowards. They are men. They are men of conviction. And that's the only trait in you. Why? But you have shown your face. You have shown your face. Yet when it comes to reward, you work like an elephant but eat like an ant in the NPP. How can this be seen? Look, Chief, you can't say it. Let me say it for you. What do you mean? Even when chief executive opportunities were there, they passed you up. Things you were more than qualified for. They passed you up. Then what they carry you to come and do is come and do Zoom lion work. Janitor, clean up for them. And you think that this should be what the Voltarians look at. So Randy, for the NDC flag bearership and running mate, we will pick somebody who represents the multi-ethnic diversity
go and see Mr. Speaker
of the NDC. We are an umbrella. We are an umbrella. We cover everybody.
Aline, Nawa, today's your birthday, so happy birthday to you, Aline Nawa. Happy birthday to you from your husband, Daniel Banoko of Secord. So happy birthday to you, Aline Nawa. But guess what? There is a share processing factory at Buipe, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a share processing factory at Buipe. There's also, is there a cement?
I think Diamond Cement has something.
Yes, at Buipe. Okay. There's no lithium at Buipe, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
But lithium, lithium is going to create a showdown at the Buipe Palace. Guess what? Today.
Okay, now we get.
They are going to set up a lithium factory there.
Today.
No.
There is a presser, Meet the Press, by government.
Yeah.
On lithium, which will be addressed by the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abujinapo. And today, same day, the ranking member on
Mines and
Energy, the Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo, is also holding a presser at Parliament on lithium. So that is what I mean by
a showdown.
A showdown at the Buipe Palace, and it's all about lithium. And so choose your Jinapo today. It could be a John or a Samuel.
It's a divided case.
Don't call him Samuel, call him Abu.
Yeah, so it could be a Samuel or a John, and then maybe the Buipe himself will have to mediate.
I think the fault lines are well defined.
Gentlemen, that will be it for the morning. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Randy. Yes. May there be peace in your home.
Yes, and may there be peace in Parliament.
Amen. Peace at home in Parliament.
May there be peace
in Parliament. You know, there's a Jewish prayer.
Richie, may
there be peace in our homes and at the gates of the city.
Richard asking you why you're always fighting in Parliament. You asked him that, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He wasn't asking me. He was asking about MPs.
No, you. I was asking.
No, I thought I heard him say you.
Have you seen me fight in Parliament?
But we were watching the pictures when I asked.
Do you understand the fight?
The Speaker says they are not going to carry the bill or do anything with it, and you are just angry, going about leaving the room. Somebody had to shepherd you. Just relax. This bill will pass. Everything.
And the president will sign.
With his prerogative.
Sam, you know what? Do what you have to do. Get Parliament to pass.
And leave the rest.
Let it go to the president.
Yes.
And let the president tell us that he considers this just as his position on the witchcraft, so he won't sign. Let's get there.
Sure. Why do you sound cynical when you came to that?
We'll pass it.
You were making a point that I was agreeing with you.
You don't agree with
that one.
Do what you have to do.
Yes.
You understand? Let the bill pass.
Yes.
And it goes to president. It's part of the process.
Yes.
And he has the right to determine one way or the other. Yeah. But your emphasis there and tell us. And that part, I don't like it.
No, the president has told us that he will not sign the.
This is the us emphasis you are making.
No, us, I mean Ghanaians. I don't mean us as in his family head or
auxiliary members of the family.
No. I mean Ghanaians.
You laid too much emphasis on that. But the point is that he's within his right, protecting the state and advancing.
Oh, don't worry, there will be peace. There will be peace in Parliament, there will be peace at home, there will be peace in our gates, there will be peace everywhere in our country. Yeah. We are peaceful, we are a beacon of peace. That is what
that's very rich coming from him.
Yeah, so we are a beacon of peace. There will be peace at home. And that is why, for me, I believe that the MPP flag bearer must have peace at home as well. In his choices. All of those, and the choice must be compatible with him.
Up next is Metro Sports.